Good afternoon, Whisperers, and welcome into the post show. It's so good to have you all here. Welcome to Whispers in a Bottle, Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays post show. I am your host, Sonya LaRae, lifestyle relationship counselor, educator, fashion psychologist, holistic health and wellness consultant, and motivational speaker. We just wrapped our live show that was live at 3 p.m. over at blogtalkradio.com/whispers in a bottle. That show was fire. It was on the topic of resilience and persistence. Dynamic dual qualities as we leaned into that today. And, I start every discussion off with a clear meaning and understanding. So, I gave you all the meaning and understanding of resilience, the capacity to withstand or recover from difficulties, and persistence is the firm or obstinate constants in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. So, today's discussion was really powerful. And I have to tell you guys something. I was very resilient today, even because you realize that resiliency is a face and a look that is different than anything that you really seen. So, we had a caller call in, and literally, we always say, please make sure that your questions are in line with our topic for our discussion, which today, as you saw, that was no aim, no rhyme, no reason. But that's okay because he wanted to know. He felt like he was being an advocate for all the other voices or people out here that want to know, like, well, what exactly do you do? What do you offer? And sometimes, that's a great thing. People want to know, and we're able to kind of lean in. But do you realize that asking me a question of such a broad topic is that my clients have a vast amount of things that they're working on. Some are working on their lifestyle, some are working on their relationships. Many we have worked on their holistic health and wellness, their mindset. So to really kind of lean in and just say, yeah, well, I do this and that. Yes, I do a lot of things, and my numbers are great. I have great clients, I have great testimonials that, attest to that fact. But our show was literally to encourage you all to really be able to evoke and to really ignite the two dynamic superpowers of resilience and persistence, because how we show up for ourselves is very important. And as I stated that, back in 27 20 what was that? 2021, we had the topic on the importance of resilience. And I told you that today I was going to kind of lean in and touch on those elements that we talked about in that discussion. So I pulled notes from it. So when you see me looking down, it's because I really want to tap on all the points that I want to cover in today's discussion, because, we're not here that long inside of the Whisperers Lounge here. And so we really want to make sure that we honor this. Great to see you here. Good to have you here with us. Happy Friday. It's always good to see you. So I tell you that, leaning in on this afternoon's discussion is important for me, because I always tell you that we're developing qualities that we want to see and manifest in our lives as we journey throughout our lives. So this is a journey. It's not something that I tell you is just like a little sprint. Life is literally a journey. And so when we really get to harness these two dynamic qualities, we get to really see the power inside of them. And so I told you that in the discussion that we had before in September of 2021, I said that, you know, one of the things that we had to learn, that we needed to also be willing to make certain lifestyle changes. Because sometimes when it comes to resiliency and the different elements that we're dealing with and persistence, we may see that there's an element that is causing us to constantly have that stress, or constantly putting us into a situation or circumstance that is really weighing on us. So sometimes when we're building that resilience, it means that we have to be willing and open to pivot the way that we're doing things or how we're living our lives in a certain way. Which is so funny because that caller asked, well, what do you do to help people? This is the thing, helping people to realize that they can pivot and shift their lives to live a more fulfilling and balanced way. Really being able to kind of harness the elements that they want inside and putting in those pillars of emotional well being. So, when we talked about resilience and persistence back in 2021, there was 5 pillars that I said that we needed to build upon. And see, sometimes when people don't know the texture, the tone, or the quality of the show that we're bringing forward, they come in with a question that has no bearance. Because what happens is when we're speaking and I'm working with you with regards to building such dynamic qualities as resilience and persistence, it means that we have to be willing to tap in and close out the outside and the inner noise, the naysayers, the negative. Well, do you and can you? Because when we're guided to really protect our well being, that's where you get to see how much you will flourish and blossom in that space and place of resiliency, in that space and place of persistence. Because when we're persistent to really start to hone qualities that are going to sharpen us in a better way, it's a dynamic thing. It's a way that our minds start to function in totality. So, in that, it also spoke about our inner drive. And so, when we talked about persistence, I stated to you that that inner drive is like that flame and that igniting of that deep flame within inside of your hearts and inside of your soul. So when we have that inner flame, it motivates us to show up better for ourselves. It stops allowing us to keep pouring into ourselves in a negative way. But do you realize because we have all these thoughts, we're having 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and more, 80% of our thoughts are negative. 80%. And the other half also we had the day before. They're kind of running as a ram, like just rambling round and round. And so sometimes what we have to do, we have to be willing to have that inner drive and that inner voice to be able to slow us down. So we can work on that subconscious mind. So we can stop allowing it to kind of taint and pull us away from the places and spaces we need to be. That's why I think like when we do these discussions and we're talking about the introspective questions, those deeper questions that we get to ask ourselves and sit in those places, I always tell people that it's the hardest spot that you'll ever sit in. That place of why is one of the deepest places you'll sit in. And then the other one is how. How do I maneuver? How do I overcome? And how is it going to look when I come through this? Because, see, these are questions that we as people have to be willing to ask ourselves. We have to be willing not to just say, okay, look, this is life, it is what it is. Because if that's the case, you're never going to really see great things come out for you. So it even talked about the future focus. So having persistence and resiliency allows us to start to see ourselves forward. It starts to see ourselves in a future tense that we can see better for ourselves and be better for ourselves. So, it's so funny because people ask, how does this really help us in our perspective of our lives? You realize that when you are resilient and you have that persistence, you're willing to dig in on a deeper quality of self. It means that we're not afraid to challenge ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. It means that we're willing to sit in that space and place of introspection and to really be able to see how we as people are going to build upon the qualities that we want in our lives, in our journey, and how we're going to impact others or how others will impact us. So for me, I think when we did this discussion in 2021, we spoke deeply on having those clear goals and having those SMART goals. And that was that specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound goals. And I think sometimes when we're working on elements in our lives, we have to be willing to be realistic with ourselves and know where we need to improve, how we need to show up better for ourselves. And with a quality like the dual superpower of resilience and persistence, we want to see how we're going to really get to use those in an effective manner. Because now, this is the thing, some people have taken on these two qualities, but they've taken them on in a negative connotation. So they're so persistent on doing what is wrong or just having everything their way. It's a selfish aspect. Instead of it being a dual superpower that is actually enabling you to show up and be better in the aspects of your life, aspects of your mind, aspects of your well being and health. So there's certain elements that we have to really look at and realize that we can't just kind of dwindle or kind of diminish. We have to build upon them. We have to be willing to challenge ourselves even in the face of those trials and tribulations. So we can have the triumphs over trials. I think like today's discussion has been great. And I know for myself, I didn't feel so great today. So the resilience, that aspect of having to be resilient was mandatory for me to keep showing up in the space here, showing up where I'm supposed to be and to give dynamic discussions and to pour in to topics like this. And also, it requires of me that when I have people that come in and want to be disruptors of our space and place, to always hold a space of respect, harmony, and always having things that is going to come in a way that is going to respect our place and always safeguard you whisperers as well as myself. So, I just appreciate being able to build out beautiful discussions like this. I love working with you all and doing discussions like this and having our safe zone just be what it is. And, if you have questions, I always tell you, please do not hesitate to call in, to write in. You can always write in because we have a brand new segment that's called Ask Sonya LaRae. That's the email right there, and it's asksonyalarae@yahoo.com. And if you subscribe to our fabulous e-journal, to the Whispers Exchange, which there's a link that's in the comments already, but there's also on the screen, and in the description box is a link as well. But you'll see the answers to those questions inside this article, these beautiful articles that come out every week for our show. Also, I want to just give you a broadcasting note that next week, November 17th through the 24th, which is 2 weeks, we're not going to have a show. We won't be here. So don't look for me over here because we won't be here. But we will be back December 1st. So literally, we'll be back. Can you believe, like I'm saying, December 1st? Like this year is almost gone. But also, I'm going to be giving a special presentation over on the Wisdom app. And I would love for you all to join me. It's on November the 16th at 11:30 a.m. And it's going to be a powerful discussion. And if you're not on Wisdom already, feel free to DM us over on our Instagram page, the word wisdom, and we will send you an invitation so you can join the app, be over there, come follow us and see who's having great discussions over there, who's holding court and everything else. So, it's always good to be in our safe zone, to come in and birth such beautiful discussions. Don't forget that you can always listen to the replay of our live discussion that took place today at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at blogtalkradio.com/whispers in a bottle. You can hear us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And, make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video. And if somebody needs to hear this or to be encouraged, please feel free to, share this with them, because it's important for us to really be able to pour in and to really give that support to the community. Yes, 11:30 on November the 16th on the Wisdom app. So don't forget to join us. DM us the word wisdom, and we will make sure that we get you an invitation. Now, we will tell you that you DM us on Instagram. We won't put it on here, but we will put it into our DMs over on Whispers in a Bottle. So, with that being said, everyone, you have been listening to Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. My name is Sonya LaRae. I'm a lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, holistic health and wellness consultant, and motivational speaker. I look forward to us being back together again in 2 weeks. But don't forget our special discussion on November the 16th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time over on the Wisdom app. With that being said, everyone, I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. Keep encouraging yourselves. Don't forget that if you do come and you comment or you are speaking into the comments, that you show respect and dignity, because we give dignity, honor, and respect to everyone, and we value your opinions. And if you call into the show, please remember to stay on topic, ask your questions, because we would love to hear from you. All right, guys, with that being said, have a great weekend. Take care.